This is Paul Nobles from Eat to Perform. This is the Wine and Cookies edition of the Eat to Perform webinar that we do on Monday nights. There are children here, there are dogs here, and actually I got some instruction from the Barbell Shrug people saying that the production quality of this show is probably not very good, and that's what makes it so awesome. So on the call, just so you guys know, and we'll have people coming in and out. So we have a bunch of staff that I'm going to add as we go. Hey, where are you guys going? Okay, hey, I need my goat. So let's see. Next to me is April, which most people know. Then we have Lori Walsh. Lori, do you want to say hi? She's
Howdy.
Dressed as Rudolph. And then we have Sarah Soyberg. Why do I always mess up your name?
No, why? Why do you even try?
I don't know. What are you dressed as?
I'm like a kind of elf.
Okay. I thought you were going. No. Okay. So
No.
Gina.
Just don't.
I'm
Don't. You gonna call me fat? No. You gonna call me fat again?
No.
I'm really sick and tired of you telling me I have to piffle.
No, that's not. That's not.
See this right here? Did you? Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say you're dressed as a wino.
I know. At least you didn't call me a shovel.
Start asking for toothbrushes for free for the rest of us. I think we're good.
I am.
Just wait till June.
I am.
200 toothbrushes, please.
I am a barfly. So then we have Gina Patterson's at the bottom with her son. Gina, what's your son's name? Oh, Gina's on mute.
We can't hear you.
Hold up a sign.
We're gonna have a lot of this kind of thing, I think. Okay. Joey? Okay. So Susie. Susie, what's your son's name?
Jimmy.
And what's his hat?
Come on, let's go. The moose.
Okay. So now here is my family.
Hello.
This is my wife Vicky.
Hi.
Which, you
Hi,
know,
Vicky.
Where am I supposed to look?
Vicky is a chronic liker. You know, she doesn't post a lot in Slot, but she will like your post, that's for sure.
Yes.
And then
He used to call me a lurker. It's much better to be a liker.
yes, much better. And this is our dog Kira.
Here we go.
If you're in group coaching, she's the one snoring in the background, not me. This is Emily. Emily's in the red flannel, and then Alice is in the devil sweatshirt, appropriately attired for Christmas. Well, we're one day past Hanukkah, so let's make sure that this is an inclusive kind of thing.
Introduce Kira. I wasn't paying attention.
I did introduce Kira.
She's less than impressed.
Yeah, she's a little grumpy today. She bit the lady at Chuck and Don's, so yeah.
So I think I've met.
You guys can hear me. You can't see me, but I'm here.
Okay.
Who's that, Jordan?
That's Jordy.
Hello.
Yeah, we're gonna move people in and out so everybody can kind of see them, and then, you know, who left? Gina left. Okay.
Gina left.
Oh, Teresa.
There we go. There's
And
Teresa. Teresa
I'm
jumping
here.
in.
Merry Christmas.
So and I think most people would know Teresa from the forums, and so yeah, I thought what would be sort of fun is if everybody jumping in and out.
There's Jordy.
My niece Sarah has joined.
I have to. Yeah, you look like our niece. So I thought that one of the things that would be fun is if we sort of talked about kind of, you know, the year that we had with Eat to Reform. And I'm probably going to let Jordy start because she was the one that actually suggested that we do this, which I think was a great idea. And Jordy, what time is it in Australia?
11:15 in the morning.
Okay. And did did you lift maximum weights today?
Well, we had back squats, but it was after a WOD, so that's never really going to go very well.
Right, but what would that be called if you had lifted maximum weights?
I would have got a PB.
A PB, right? So in the United States, that's peanut butter. In Australia, that's a personal best. So Jordy reminded me that when she first started off, see you guys later. When she first started off, they've got to go to the post office or something.
The library.
Oh, there you go.
And the post office.
So this is like the most awkward podcast. People are gonna tune in and go, "Wait a second, I was in for wanting cookies, but this is bullshit."
But staff meetings, just
Yeah.
with 40 extra people.
This is like the old staff meetings. So Jordy, talk to us a little bit about when you first started off and kind of like the year in review here for your Eat to Perform story. Just the fun
as far
stuff.
as being staff.
What now?
What do you mean, like as far as being staff over the last year?
I'm thinking more like something goofy from the last year. That's been your experience as kind of the forum lead.
Gosh, off the top of my head, that's a tough one.
Why don't I start?
Really...
Why don't I start?
Okay.
Okay, so one of the highlights for us was the Granite game. So I'm going to ask everybody. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to stop right here, and then I'm going to tell you guys a little secret that you don't know. So there was another company that's kind of similar to us, but they're not really. Like it's a paleo list, naughty and nice list of foods type of place, and they were saying that that they have one of the biggest challenges on the internet, and I think for each challenge that they do, which is like one every 6 months, they give away 3 pairs of Reeboks. And so I think that's hilarious because we give 3 pairs of Reeboks almost every single day, it seems, but often we'll have at least 10 to 15 a month. But when I talked to Reebok and I said to them, hey, we're having a holiday party with the staff, they said, oh, that'd be cool. Is there anything that we can do? And I was like, well, I have an idea. And so all the Eat to Perform staff, which is roughly 60 people, are getting free Reeboks for Christmas. Courtesy of Reebok. Yes. So
What?
yes, actually
Awesome.
the secret is sort of out when Ashley and so while other people talk about the fact that they've given away 3 every 3 months, Reebok just stepped to the plate for 60. So I thought that was
That's
pretty cool.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Down to mom for me.
Yeah, we'll have to mail yours down to Australia. We'll get you one of the new pair of the Invitational. I don't know if you saw those the Pacific Invitational shoes. So yeah, probably the biggest highlight was meeting Jordy, at the Granite Games, where she came and competed with 2 other Eat to Perform staff members. That water bottle. You have to show everybody the water bottle. It's like
oh my god.
Yeah, it's like a water bottle torture device kind of thing.
It's like a rumble roller.
Yeah, for sure. So Jordy, talk to me a little bit about your experience at the Granite Games.
I had so much fun, like just being able to meet everyone that I had been chatting to online for so long and, working with virtually for so long. It's a long flight. It was a long way to go for a week, but it was so much fun being able to meet everyone and actually compete in a higher level competition, I guess, and compete with Leon and Caitlin I couldn't have asked for better teammates. It was great.
Well, what I think the real question is why do you hate Sarah and I?
Are we ever going to write that down?
No, I don't think we are. So just so everybody knows, we were actually supposed to tour this facility in northern Minnesota for Eat Perform Summer Camp, and Jordy was going to be one of the people that kind of tested out one of the cabins and stuff like that. And she was like, "Nah, I don't want to be with you, old fuddy duddy." So,
Yeah.
so
That.
it
I
was.
had a flight. I had a 26-hour flight ahead of me, and I didn't really want to sit in a car for another 5 hours on top of that.
You picked us over ice cream. I mean, let's just put it out there
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
Caitlin had a better offer, so what can I say?
Sure.
Come on, Sarah could have gotten you a free toothbrush.
I
Yeah,
could have gotten you a free toothbrush.
you missed out on the free toothbrush.
So what did Caitlin offer?
Ice cream.
She had ice cream. She had ice cream. You didn't even have real
We
ice.
had ice cream. We had sorbet.
Yeah.
And
steak.
And steak.
Yeah.
I didn't eat steak, so that wouldn't have got me there.
Oh, that's right.
They have walleye. So anyway,
Next time.
yeah. So anyway, we're obviously having fun. It is really cool. I mean, one of the things I think that we all talk about and brag about all the time is the fact that you and Kim are in Australia, and that we have like this, I mean, we had Raquel in Mexico at a certain part in the year. Leonie's in England, so it's kind of fun to have kind of an international flair to what we're doing, and so that's really cool. Also, Jordy's team went to the CrossFit Games this year, so that was kind of neat. She's, are you?
I was not on the team.
No, she wasn't on the team, yeah, but so Susie, I think most people are aware, especially in the group coaching, probably know Susie a lot better than maybe some people in slot, or I don't know how. I mean, you're pretty active in the forums, obviously. So where are you from, Susie? Can you let everybody know?
I am from just outside of Houston originally, but I live in Denver now. We've been here about 5 years. So.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
so what do you do? Because I know that you're one of my runners. So when people say, well, Eat to Perform hates running, I'm like, no, we don't. We have Susie.
Yeah, no, I've run 13 marathons. I started running in 2000, so I guess I was young 20s. I was one of those people who was trying to outrun my calories. And then I just got into, I was distance running anyway, so I might as well do races. Yeah, sorry. Hold on.
Is he asking you for water?
So I got hooked on that. I actually got pretty good at it. I ran the Boston Marathon twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've run tons of halves. I think, I had a kid and couldn't really put in the time anymore. Got harder and harder to outrun my calories. I couldn't stay quite as lean as I wanted to, and somebody talked me into going to a CrossFit class, and I was hooked after that. So I've been doing that for 2 years, but I still run. So I'm just not running as much right now.
Yeah, so I think that if you're an Eat to Perform member, one of the other things that Susie's actively involved in is the fundamentals classes that we're doing in the forums, and then obviously any call that is involved, she sort of organizes that. So I think that's sort of fun for people to kind of know like what everyone does, at this point. So Lori, Lori probably is the most patient person on the planet. She well, first of all, you don't want to get in a steps war with Lori because she will destroy you. Where are all the little ginger children?
I locked them out.
Yeah.
Good for you.
They're downstairs with the husband.
So Lori is the head of customer service. So if you email into Eat to Perform, usually you're going to get a team. How many people are on your team, Lori?
There's 6 of us, including me. So
Okay.
There's Maggie, Chris Mount, Kim Christensen. Well, Kim's the honorary customer service. She's
Right.
not with us anymore, but we keep her in the loop.
Which wait. Kim's not dead. Just to be clear.
No, she's not on customer service. So
she's still with us. She's just not in customer
she's not
service.
with customer service.
Okay.
We have Kim Beauty, and she's laughing about that. Kim Beauty, Christine Calvert, and who else am I missing?
Chris Susan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I got all of us.
Well, and Kim Beauty is our other staff member that is in Australia, so she gets the kind of weird times. So whenever you see like Kim or Jordy like responding, it's usually because you guys are all sleeping, and so they're able to kind of respond to things. I actually did one of my highlights of the year was going to New York, doing the seminar that we did at CrossFit NYC, and then we hung out with Lori for a day, and Lori actually got to meet my dad. So Lori, tell him a little bit. Tell him a little bit of what my dad's like.
Your dad's a lot like my dad. That's why I thought he was funny. He's very old school. He had all these funny jokes. Whenever Paul wasn't around, he'd pull me aside. He'd be like, "You want to hear another story?" Paul would just move towards, just cruising through the Met.
Yeah, no.
No, he was a really nice.
None of those stories are true, just so you know.
He did the same thing to me. He did the same thing to me in New York, and whenever we went out for dinner. Let me tell you another story. And who does
that remind you of? Anybody in particular?
Someone
who's always telling us stories?
I don't know. I have to say, like, my dad, so I'll think of a story with my dad, that will be kind of funny because there's no shortage of them.
I had the one where he said,
"Your dad was on camera."
My dad was. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I thought it was funny when he told me the story about the nanny when he was staying with you guys for like a month and then he was leaving and the nanny's like, "Well, who do I talk to?" Yeah. Or like who is
so you want? Okay, so I'll tell that story real quick because it's a short one. So I was a professional poker player at this time. And so we had a housekeeper, we had a nanny, and we had a nurse for my mother-in-law. And we just hired a new nurse, and she was coming into the house, and she was looking for some sort of direction. And my dad happened to be visiting, so my house was very busy at this time. And so the woman starts asking my dad questions, and my dad's like, "I don't know what she's talking about." And so he then figures out that the woman is looking for me. And, she was assuming that, him being the older person was the head of the household. So here I come down the stairs. I'm actually, I remember this very well. I was in those pajamas that I come to staff meetings in.
Oh, man.
And it was like 4:00 in the evening because I was up playing poker all night, which is why we had all those various people that would watch my children and stuff, so they wouldn't be all alone. And my dad's like, "Yeah, that guy coming down the stairs, with kind of the messed up hair and the pajama pants at 4:00 yeah, that's your boss. That's the guy in charge here." So that was pretty funny. That was such a really cool trip. I mean, like Central Park. Walking through Central Park, that is, when you think of New York, well, there's a few things that I think about when I think about New York. One, I think when I went to New York with no money, New York was not fun. When you go to New York with money, it's a blast, So the other person that was on the New York trip with me, actually saved our butt. Actually, her husband saved our butt. Remember, we had the problem with the body fat machine, and we figured out really quickly that virtually everyone at the webinar was like there to be body fat tested. They kind of wanted to hear the seminar, which a lot of people have watched the seminar at this point that we did, but they were there to be body fat tested. And basically, if you listen to the seminar in the background, It's April telling people what their body fat testing stuff. But what happened?
I did not realize that all that interaction was in there. Luckily, Tom is quite handy, like with all kinds of things. So
Yeah.
he figured it out quick, like that it had to be the cord.
Yeah, in the shipment, basically what ended up happening was the cord kind of splintered or whatever, and so April's husband scrambled around New York to go get us a replacement, and luckily it worked because we would have been in real trouble. I actually have to send you guys that body fat machine for Greensboro, North Carolina. We're actually going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina, 23rd and 24th. So if you're near us, it looks like there's going to be a lot of people visiting, so that should be fun. Sarah and April are doing the booth, and then I'm going to be tentatively. It was supposed to be Catherine Adams, but I don't know. She made like a plastic gun joke at TSA or something, and they put her on the no-fly zone. So so Laura Kohler is stepping in as Catherine's replacement. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we're expecting to have a real good time. I'm actually going to have Catherine on. She said she's wearing a toque, which I don't even, I get.
I'll sign off and she can get on.
Okay. Sounds good.
And who else wants to sign on? Because I could just do webinars all the time. So I feel like I'm still.
I can sign up too at any time.
No. Like, let's we have to have some hosts in this scenario, but we can replace you guys eventually. So Jordy, talk to us a little bit about the traditions that are going on in Australia at this point, because it's summer, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't celebrate Christmas because I'm Jewish. So
right.
My stepdad isn't though. So we do like Chrismukkah now. So like a cross between Christmas and Hanukkah. But Christmas here is, it's summer. So everyone's doing barbecues and going to the beach, and it's totally, totally different to what I imagine you guys do.
So what'd you get for Hanukkah? Give it up. Come on, let's go.
And nothing yet. We're having our like family thing on Christmas Day.
Okay.
So.
I gotcha. So does like Santa like water ski in or something? Like
maybe to the non-Jewish families. No, we have the last few years my stepdad started living with us, we have a Christmas tree, but when I was growing up, we had the Hanukkah fairy, and the Hanukkah fairy was like the Jewish equivalent of Santa Claus, I guess. So we have the Christmas tree with the Hanukkah fairy on top.
Oh, nice.
Cute.
So,
I want to see a picture of that.
So any other cool traditions down there? Like give us something that's like a PB, that's like totally weird.
Like Australian Christmas traditions. I don't know. I tend to stay away from that stuff because it drives me a little bit crazy. All the Christmas songs in shops for 2 months before and all the decoration. I don't know. It drives me mad. I hate it.
So she's like a Grinch.
Yeah, she's a
George's
Grinch.
like the Australian Grinch.
I'm not. I have a mini Christmas tree. See?
Oh.
Okay. So the when you pull out the mini Christmas tree, does your heart grow like three times the size?
I like the celebrations and stuff, but just not for 2 months beforehand.
What's the most popular like Hanukkah song?
Maybe the dreidel one. I'm not going to sing it for you though.
Why not?
That one is awesome.
Come on.
Dreidel, they made it out of clay. There you go. See?
Yeah.
There you go.
We used to sing that and play with dreidels and eat chocolate money and light candles.
Chocolate money? That's like a dream.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my daycare center was at the Jewish Center in New Orleans, and it's on like Claiborne and St. Charles, I believe. And that was my first experience with Hanukkah, and I got gifts every single day, and I was like, "This is the best," But when you're a kid, yeah, when you're a kid, like socks is cool, you know.
Yeah, well, we used to have my mum when we were little. Well, when she was little, her parents never made a big deal out of Hanukkah, so she decided that when she had kids, she was going to make a big deal. So we had for every night of Hanukkah, she would put a present on our bed while we were sleeping. So every morning for 8 days, we would wake up for another present. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. So
And there's 5 of us.
I want Hanukkah.
Can you add Kim as a panelist? Kim
yes.
Christian?
Yep. Hold on one second. So Gina, talk to us about where you're from.
I live in Bend, Oregon. I'm originally from Montana and lived all over the place, but we've settled here. And it's snowy and Christmassy
Nice.
and cold.
Yeah, you just got back from Disney.
Yes, we did. That was
Was it
fun.
Christmas in Disney?
Yeah. Yeah, everything was. That's the only tolerable way to do It's a Small World, is if it's holiday themed.
Really?
Otherwise, you just want to stab yourself in the eye.
Now,
Hey, Kim.
you were Disneyland, I assume.
Yes, over Thanksgiving week.
Gotcha. I'm trying to make a bunch of
better,
staff
Kim.
members panelists, so.
Aaron is on too.
Well, I'm trying to get everybody.
Aaron will sing the dreidel song for us.
Here, I'll hop out. He can come in.
And I'll hop out so Catherine and Catherine and Aaron and Jen is on too. So
All right.
everybody knows I love them.
All right, but here's the deal, Sarah. So if I'm if I'm trying to get staff on as panelists, then you need to entertain the crowd with your
Look at what? With my stories about you?
with the antics, you know.
Why am I always the show pony?
All the
That's what I know.
all the things
Sarah
you do in group coaching.
Sarah did tell us the story about the meeting where everything was going smoothly, and then all of a sudden you're like, what was it? The
Hornets? The Hornets? Wait, yeah, the Hornets.
The-
We're on a call. New client, totally new client. And, like we do in our calls, Paul's, kind of giving, his spiel and his background. There's Aaron.
Aaron!
Finally, the client is talking a little bit. Paul says, so what do you think about that? As the client starts to respond, Paul goes, oh my God, you guys. I gotta be right back. I'm not gonna believe this. There's a hornet's nest, and there's a guy, and the hornets are all over this guy that's coming to get rid of my hornet's nest. I gotta be right back. I'll be right back. I swear to God. Hold that thought. I'll be right back.
I mean, you guys should have seen it. This hornet's nest was like something from a cartoon.
Hold on a second, though. The client, you just talked for 15 minutes. The client, you say to the client, now, what do you think about that? The guy starts talking. As soon as he starts talking, you're like, hold on a second. I'm not going to believe this. I gotta go.
They would have liked the feather because they like to kill birds. They don't like to kill people.
Okay, so we have a lot of people on, and so I don't know that a lot of people know that their mic is going. So I don't know who. We could
It'll be more fun that way.
yeah, we could potentially run into some feedback issues.
That sounds like Lori.
So Kim was one of our all stars when she did the podcast with me a couple weeks ago. Kim, you're from Kentucky or Tennessee or one of those states, right?
That's where I live now. I mean, I grew up in California, but I live in Tennessee.
You don't have a California accent. You have a Tennessee accent.
No, I do not. My daughter is looking at me across the room laughing because that's an awful thing to say.
Now, your daughter, like if like furniture needs to be moved and stuff, you get her to do it because she's like super strong.
and I'm awful at moving odd objects. Like my husband, like I have no intuition on like which way to turn it. Like I don't help move anything.
Yeah,
Like,
who moves the furniture? Not
That's
you.
what I'm saying. Like we've seen all the videos of Kim's strong daughter, so they she's look if my kids had to be on there, hello. And what's your name, Kim's daughter?
Kim's daughter, Cassie.
Cassie. Okay. And so Jordy wants to know what your PB is.
I mean,
Your personal best.
personal best on what?
Snatch or clean and jerk.
Snatch is 110. Sadly, wish it was 115, but it's not.
she wishes it was 115 because that's what her mom just got the other day.
I have to say I'm a little disappointed she didn't say it in kilos. That
Kilos? Oh, no, I can't do kilos. That's way too hard.
you just have to divide by 2.2. You'd be fine. It just seems so small.
We just had a discussion just today on how to convert kilos in your head. I
Well,
was trying to
no.
teach you how to do it.
I have a better way to do it. You want to know how you do it? Google.com.
I'll do it.
How to convert kilos to pounds or pounds to kilos.
We have at my gym, we have half of our plates in kilos and the other half in pounds. So
Really?
I've had to learn. Yeah, it gets so confusing when you have like if you've got a bar and you've got like 10 kilo plates and then 15-pound plates, it gets so confusing to try and work out what the hell you have on the bar.
So when you have weights, it goes on the bar. Is that right? But like when you go out to drink, where do you go?
I drive my car to the bar.
You drive your car to the bar. Okay. So now when Catherine gets on, we'll definitely have some Canadian ribbing there as well. Okay. There's some.
That was Catherine.
There,
That was so not me. That was not me.
that was the hamsters that run Catherine's internet near the North Pole.
You're welcome.
So Kim Bunny is here too. I would love to hear her accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the same as
And I don't think that. Do you guys live near each other?
no.
Can you hear me now?
True.
Yeah, we can hear you, Kim.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yes. So Kim, where do you live?
I'm in Perth, Western Australia.
Okay. Do you have webcam?
I don't know. I think so. How much turned it on?
Well, let's see.
Turn it on.
April. Bye, April.
I'm gonna jump off.
Okay, so Kim, you jump in.
April's festive red tank top. That's like as festive as people got. The red tank.
the button, but it's saying more spaces are taken. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Kim, I do have the green kombucha to go with the red tank top.
Which alphabet do you?
Very festive. Very festive. Alrighty, bye, April. Okay, Kim, jump on in.
Well, right?
Let's see. Oh, there you go. So what a lot of people don't realize is that I would say of the 60 people or so that work with Etherform in some capacity, there's probably only 30 of us that have met in real life. Like I think that the way that we think is that you and Jordy are like BFFs because you're in Australia, but Australia is like the size of Canada, right? I mean, like in terms of population. So, like, where do you
It's
live?
like a 5-hour flight from where I live to where Kim lives.
Wow, that's crazy.
We met in person about 3 weeks ago, though, didn't we?
Yeah, Kim came to Melbourne, so we caught up and she brought me Pop-Tarts.
Oh, nice. That's sweet.
How were they?
Good. The hot fudge sundae ones aren't so nice though, but the cookie dough ones are good.
I
All
don't.
right. I'll hit that next.
So, how do you guys not just like eat Tim Tams all the time?
Oh, I do. Every day.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I was
They're
supposed
there.
to get Tim Tams. I got no Tim Tams.
No, Tim Tam.
All gone. All eaten.
Summer camp.
Yeah,
Promise.
Tim Tams is.
There was like a bed of like a picture of a bed with like 60 packages on them. And I was like, really, Chris? There's like none left. There's like none left. There's like 60 something packages of Tim Tams.
Well, Tim Tams is what carved the chasm in Sarah and I's relationship. Yeah.
Listen,
Actually, Tim Tams are our traditional stocking stuffers because my brother lives in Australia too. So that's always what they ship back is like boxes of Tim Tams to like put in stockings.
Aaron, be careful because Paul might call you fat.
I would not. I would not.
Oh,
Sarah's-
no. It's me.
I think that's
Another
reserved.
cookie, Paul?
No.
Don't have another cookie.
I just didn't want to fill up before my dinner. My mother told me that as I was a kid.
Dinner. Don't have another cookie.
You know. So Tim Tams are sort of like, gosh, they're hard to explain, but they're almost like Kit Kats.
No, I'd say they're more like a rectangular Oreo that's dunked in chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good.
They're really good.
So Kim,
Are they like a single layer or are there multiple layers like a Kit Kat?
Yeah,
No, it's more like Oreo. It is.
Yeah, biscuit, then cream, then biscuit, then chocolate.
yeah, they're awesome.
The texture to me is like a Kit Kat.
Yeah, because it was real light. It was a real light
Yeah.
cookie type thing.
More like wafery.
So Kim,
Yeah.
talk to us about like your traditions. Like what in the U.S. would we think is weird?
Right on snow.
I don't know. We eat a lot of. Actually, my sister and I we eat chocolate for breakfast every
Okay.
Christmas.
So I think
Is that not weird? Everyone does that?
can I just ask you a quick question? Will you go tanning on Christmas Day?
Oh no. Well, what we do basically is we get up I always sleep over at Mum and Dad's house, and we open our presents in the morning, and then we go to Auntie's house by the beach, and she has a pool there, so we swim at the pool, and we go to the beach, and we have a massive feed of like a big barbecue and seafood and sausages and roast, just anything and everything, and then stuff ourselves silly, and we have a nap, and then we go to the beach for a walk and try and walk it all off.
There you go. Okay, so now do you guys is movies a thing on
Not so much on Christmas Day.
yeah, on Christmas Day
It's
like
warm to sit inside and watch movies on Christmas.
yeah, on
Yeah, we can be outside. We all sit outside.
Christmas Day, I mean, movies is kind of a big deal here. Our family always goes to a movie.
Cold.
No.
Yeah, maybe Boxing Day.
Well, can you make Caitlin a panelist? She's on, but she's muted.
Hey, what's Boxing Day?
It's like the equivalent of your guys' Black Friday. We don't have Black Friday, but Boxing Day is
There we go.
sales
Okay.
everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Sales. I don't even know why it's called Boxing Day, to be honest.
Interesting. So
It's literally because of the boxes on the shelves, isn't it?
It could be. I didn't even know you guys didn't have a Boxing Day until just now.
no, see that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of weird things, right? So I mean so how often
You guys don't have Boxing Day?
No, we don't. So how often does Hugh Jackman text you guys?
On the daily.
Wow.
Or Russell Crowe, right? I mean that's like
So we deleted Russell's number months ago.
okay, yeah. he just sends you those weird texts in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, Russell, you're so annoying. What's the other gal, the redhead lady, Nicole? Tom
Nicole
Cruise's
Kidman.
wife. Yeah, Nicole
Oh,
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
Yeah, not a fan of her either.
you're not.
Me either.
See, we think that you guys are like neighbors and stuff, and you go to the coffee shop with her. You know,
Sure.
so that
Yeah, we take our kangaroos with us.
that doesn't. Yeah. Well,
Aaron,
so
can Aaron sing the dreidel song?
No, I can't sing the dreidel. Only if Jordy sings it, I can get my little fuzzy kids to come in and sing it with her.
Oh,
No,
get
I
your
said
kids.
so Sarah said you would.
No, Jordy,
was wrong.
that's a
Yeah,
pretty good. That's a pretty good deal. You're gonna convince his children to sing the dreidel song. I think you got to do it now.
Yes, I can play it. I can find her to play it, but I'm not singing it.
No. Why are you denying these children joy? Why?
Yeah,
This is a Christmas
that's just not
party.
right, Jordy.
It's not a Christmas party. It's a holiday party. Her last
It's a
name's
Hanukkah
Milstein.
party.
You know,
It's a Jordy? What do you guys call it? Chrisanica,
Chrisanica.
Chrismica.
Chrismica party.
There you go. All right, so Aaron, why don't you talk to us? Because I actually met up with Aaron in Las Vegas, and we went to Elvis's old apartment, which was very surreal.
I mean, that's what everybody does, right?
Of course, you know. So we're in the basically the top of the old Las Vegas Hilton, which is the Westgate now, and it was really funny because, I mean, in some ways it's like really super well done, nicely appointed, right? And then, you know, there's like artificial turf everywhere, and you know, it was like this like really cool combination of, wow, this is a really cool. Apparently, though, the guy was telling us that when Elvis lived there, it didn't really look like that. He was way more into purples and stuff, right?
Yeah, so it's like broken up into like, right now, that top floor is broken up into like 15,000 square foot suites.
Yeah.
And it used to be the entire floor was his apartment. And so I think we went through 2 of them. But yeah, I love it because it's like my favorite spot in Vegas because it's just like so gaudy and exactly what you think of when you think of like old Las Vegas, like lots of pink and lots of like gold leaf and like murals on the ceilings and stuff. It's pretty wild.
Okay, so I have a true to life question for you. Okay, so you slept in the suite. What I want to know is if you woke up drenched in peanut butter and bananas.
I mean, it's only right when you stay in that suite, I think, you know. So.
Right. No, we definitely have to do an Eat to Perform get together, you know, in that suite, because that would be a blast. I mean, if you've not been to the Westgate or the old Las Vegas Hilton, the place is a total dive, except for this one area. And this one area is just really super nice.
Can you guys get the...
There's somebody talking in the background. Talk about podcast magic, ladies and gentlemen. So Kim, explain to Jordy and Kim what kind of strange things they do in Tennessee for Christmas. Or Chrisanica.
What strange things do they do in Christmas? Would they do anything strange in Tennessee?
All right.
I don't know.
All right, okay.
We don't do anything strange.
Apparently, I'm going to be the one with all the stories. So, in Louisiana, okay, there is a Gaston. He's an alligator. Is anybody familiar with Gaston the alligator? Right? So, Gaston is like the Rudolph, right? And so there's Santa, and Santa lives in a bayou. And basically, in Louisiana, they make these gigantic bonfires all along the Mississippi River. It's like really beautiful. I mean, it's like a big, gigantic tradition. And essentially, it leads Santa into the bayou to get all the toys to all the kids. And so, when I moved to Minnesota, I talked my wife and her family into do a New Orleans themed Christmas, and we did a bonfire so Santa would know to come to that house. And here we are 27 years later, and we still do the bonfire.
Hey.
How's that, Kim? See, I just beat you. You don't have one of those?
This is Tennessee. The only thing that people do is mandatory is go to church.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's the South. Christmas means church.
Yeah, so how long is church in Tennessee, Kim?
it really varies. You either have like 3-point sermon where you're in and out in an hour, like you know it, like every sermon 3 points. You sing 2 hymns, 3 points. That's it, in, out, in an hour. Or like you're there all day.
So
There's no like real in between. You're either like in and out in a 3-point sermon in an hour, or you're there for like lunch. That's the other thing. It's like you have lunch after. So
when I lived in Mississippi, we went to a Baptist church, and not only did we go to church for like 6 hours, but we also went to church on Wednesday for like 4 hours.
Yeah. Wednesday night. That's right.
There's a lot of sinning that needs to be prayed for in Mississippi. I'm just putting that out there. But no.
Yeah, Tennessee's not exempt, my friend.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, no, that's a lot of church. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah. So I need some people to leave so more people can be introduced to everyone. But I appreciate everybody being here. Once again, Jordy. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Jordy was the one that came up with the idea. Jordy moved down here now. Jordy was the one that came up with the idea for this, which I think is a really good idea. I also want to try and get... okay, here's James. Let's see.
I can get off if someone else wants to jump on.
I can get off too. How many people do you have waiting in the wings?
Well, let's see.
I know Caitlin's there, but she's cooking dinner, so.
Gotcha.
I can come on if you want.
Yeah, let's try. Let's try and introduce you to everyone. So.
Oh, and David's got a baby to show. Let me hop off.
Oh, yeah. We gotta see the baby. So Caitlin is Okay, so we gotta hold David back here because everybody's gonna go baby crazy here in a second. But so Caitlin is from Boston. She was actually, I think. Oh, okay, we're holding off, Caitlin.
Oh, sweet. Congratulations.
So let me see. Is there red hair on that baby?
No.
All right.
Aww.
My goodness!
He's beautiful.
6.5 pounds?
Hang on, let me turn you up here.
Can you not hear me?
Just under 7 pounds.
Okay, there we go.
Aww.
And what's his or her name?
That would be Dalton James.
Okay. And which is a weird name for a girl, but we'll go with it. So David, where do you live?
We are about 20 minutes east of Dallas.
Okay, so we'll try not to hold that against you. There's being a kid from Louisiana, it is always tough, like living next to Texas, because I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Louisiana's there unless we want to gamble.
What now? We're having a hard time hearing David or him hearing us, I think. But just keep going to pictures of the baby, and I think we're good.
Here's the baby.
So, David, what's your wife's name?
My wife is Tracy.
Okay. And so, how about those Cowboys?
Look, a baby.
Actually, the biggest Cowboy fan on the staff is Lori Walsh,
This is like 5 minutes left.
which I don't totally get why, but so yeah.
I am a Cowboys fan. I'm sorry.
We have one left on open. I can bring that one back.
Lori, how did that happen?
I was born and raised a Cowboys fan. My dad was one, so it was kind of like, no choice there.
Right, that must be weird.
That's smart.
Living near all those Giants fans. This is gonna make for the absolute best podcast ever. Like,
Just get a glimpse of our staff meetings, you know.
yeah, well,
Yeah, no.
there's infinitely less yelling though. Really, I thought I would get more laughs than that. I really felt like I could get more laughs on that one. So there's
a baby.
there's little Dalton.
I wish that you could send baby smells through the webinar.
Well, the worst thing about
Like poop?
yeah,
I don't wish that. Actually, I don't wish that at all.
no, but
I love the baby smells.
even the
Yeah, like the tops of their head. They smell so nice.
I don't know. I feel like they just smell like dirty diapers.
Mm,
Oh.
it's not totally like that. So I do have a cool baby story. So when I started college in Minnesota, there was a college called Metro State, and they were just starting off. And one of the appeals of this college was that you could do a lot of internships. And once again, we've got podcast magic happening. Caitlin is trying to challenge David to a duel, right? So the cuteness of the baby versus the heaviness of Caitlin's cat. So that is one fluffy cat.
Just because I'm scrunching her neck. She's not really that fluffy.
What's your cat's name?
Latte.
Latte?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her cat's name is Latte, and she doesn't even drink coffee.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. She doesn't drink coffee at all.
It looks like a latte.
So basically, I was at this school, and one of the benefits was that you could do internships to graduate. And so I did like tons of internships, and we were about to have a child in the next couple of years. And so I had like a fear of holding children. And so I interned at this place called the Crisis Nursery in Minneapolis. And basically the Crisis Nursery was if you were a parent and you were in crisis, right? You could go here and leave your child for the weekend and, clear up the mess that was going on in your life. I'm probably not describing it very well, but it was a really needed service, and it was something that was just a privilege to do. And if I really need to make sure to get back there and kind of donate, a lot of cool stuff to those guys because they made a major impact on my life. But right towards the end of the internship, I got comfortable. My role at the Crisis Nursery was that I would take the older kids that were like 6 to 8, and then what we would do is we would throw on boots and we would look for puddles. And so we would just jump through puddles. So that was kind of a fun thing. So towards the end, I started getting very comfortable holding the babies, but there was this whole group of ladies. They were called the grandmothers, and they had a whole rocking chair, and they would rock the babies to sleep. And the grandmothers found out that I had not changed a diaper in the 3 months that I worked there. For the next 2 weeks, I changed every single diaper that could. So I got a lot of training to change diapers. So David, I'm assuming that's you're gonna just nonstop diapers all the time. Is that not how it works? So David's blog, once again.
Babe.
Oh, look at the baby smiling. So David, your blog is what? No Second Breakfast. And so that's actually kind of an interesting thing because David was journaling his first part, and I don't know how active you've been to keep it up lately.
None.
Right.
It's actually I've been redesigning it, and I'm trying to get it done by the end of the year,
But there you go.
Hopefully by the end of the year.
So for those of you that don't know, Chris Dietz, who is one of the moderators and coaches for Eat to Perform, has been making videos to train David on being a father. And the videos are hilarious. We put them on the main Facebook page, and it's basically Chris's daughter doing all manner of weird things. And Chris explaining to David that that's what he was in for soon. I will tell you a little secret, David. I feel like I met my wife yesterday. That is how much I love my wife. I feel like I've had children since the day I was born. like, keep that relationship with your wife, but I'm telling you, I cannot remember what it was like to not have children.
Right.
It is definitely a blessing to have children, but I'm telling you, it is surely a lot of work.
Yeah, our 16th anniversary is coming up on Friday, so it's been a while.
Now, is that 16 of marriage or 16 since you've known each other?
Married.
Oh, wow. And
19 that we've known each other.
Yeah, see, I tell my wife that all the time. Like, all the time before we were married, that didn't count, right? She didn't sign up for the lifetime plan. You can't say that, you hooked the winner, right? You didn't. You didn't sign up for that lifetime plan. So anyway, so we were talking to Caitlin. Caitlin works out at CrossFit New England, which in the CrossFit world is kind of a big deal. We do kind of get this bad reputation. I know a lot of us CrossFit. David, you're not a CrossFitter, right? You do mostly powerlifting type stuff now. David.
Oh.
No, we do a lot of it's CrossFit, but we do a lot of strength training first.
Okay, I got you. So Caitlin works out at CrossFit New England. If you're in the CrossFit world, Ben Bergeron's kind of a big deal. He coached Rich Froning. Who won the CrossFit Games? What was her name this year?
Katrin.
Yeah, Katrin.
Squatted with her today, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That had to be humbling.
It's at this point she's here so often that she's just another one of us. So.
Yeah, that's really cool. They but Ben worked with Rich Froning. No,
Matt Fraser.
Right, but he's definitely had some relationships with Rich Froning in the past.
Yeah, I don't know that he was ever actually his coach,
okay,
but
I got
he does work with Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we talked to Ben a little bit this year, and I thought he coached like a ton of CrossFit Games athletes, but he really focuses on like a small group of elite type people.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about Caitlin, so can you talk a little bit about your injury and how that happened?
Oh, God. Yeah, so I was it was back in the end of February. We were squatting, and then we were doing some like heavy rack walkouts. So load up like 400 pounds on the bar, walk it out, do a quarter squat, walk it back in. So I had a barbell on my back that had maybe like 375 or 400 pounds on it. And the girls on the platform next to me were doing the same thing, but they were done. And one of the girls was counting the plates to figure out how much weight was on her bar. And she pulled off all the plates on one side of the bar and not the other. And the full end flipped out of the squat rack and landed on my foot and shattered my first metatarsal. So I was told that I was extremely lucky because the empty end of the barbell flew like 6 inches in front of my face, and I had like 400 pounds on my back. So if it had gotten me in the head, then it probably would have killed me. So I was lucky to get away with a broken foot. But I was in a
bar with that heavy on one side.
What? Yeah, simple physics. It was a stupid mistake. So I was in a plaster cast for probably 3.5 months, and I was also lucky because the bone. I'll define
the picture of the X-ray and post it in Flop, but the bone was broken into about 5 pieces. But even after walking on it for 2 days, because I'm stubborn and didn't want to believe that there was anything wrong, none of the pieces were displaced, so I never ended up having to have surgery. But I was in plaster for like 3.5 months, on crutches for like 4.5. So now it's been about 10 months, and I'm finally starting to feel better again.
There you go. So this is the Granite Games. I still have their plaque from the Granite Games, and so that was the team that Jordy, Caitlin, and Leonie. Leonie is likely very fast asleep at this point. It's I think 1 a.m. right now in London. So we need to get more people on the call. David has left, and he took his baby. So everybody's gonna be sad about that. But so let's see. I know Chris Dietz is gonna have to be on the call. Catherine Adams, everybody. There he is. So Chris, explain to me all of the. Oh, there's some Tim Tam action. Now, are those U.S. Tim Tams, or are those the real deal?
These are the real deal, dark chocolate Australian Tim Tams.
Now, explain the difference, because people think that they can go to like whatever it is, like Walmart, and get Tim Tams, but they're not like the real Australian Tim Tams.
No, they use different ingredients.
Yeah. So,
I believe they don't use things like high fructose corn syrup in Australia for Tim Tams like they do here.
Okay.
That is probably the main difference. Other than that, I'd have to go pull out the, because I have both versions here in my study. It's mainly in the ingredients.
One of the if you've ever seen like any of Chris's workout videos, he has the ETP Platinum plaque, similar to the one that I just showed you guys for the ETP Aussie Invasion. But one of the most hilarious scenes, there was really way too many people at the ETP booth, many of whom, worked for Eat to Reform, but also were friends and family and stuff like this. And so, like, people were having trouble getting to the booth. We had so many people there. But Chris definitely caught more than a few eyes after the workouts when he'd be eating Oreos. And then I would have gummy bears, and I'd be passing out gummy bears. And I mean, like, everyone was like super freaked out. They didn't know what to think of the whole Eat to Reform thing. So, but
Jill's gonna hop on, the AKA Matt Damon. So I'm just letting you know that you can add her as a panelist when she comes on.
I don't believe you. I think you're punking us.
She just messaged me, but I figured since I was still here, I could let you know.
What was funny was Teresa was talking at the same exact time that you were talking, but Teresa was muted. So I was like wondering what kind of sorcery you guys were pulling off.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yes. So I will keep an eye.
So
out.
my question is, did he get more looks eating Oreos at the Granite Games, or did he get more looks when he took his shirt off at the Women's Expo here in Minnesota?
Oh, that
I'm
was
just saying.
that was hilarious. So we go to this Women's Expo, which there wasn't really a lot of people there, right? Pretty much everyone was like an exhibitor, and we had a body fat machine, which is hilarious. Because if you look at the contrast of the two events, at the Women's Expo, literally no one wanted to be body fat tested. At the Granite Games, everybody wanted to be body fat tested. And so Chris came to meet us at the Women's Expo, and he ended up measuring his body fat, because I think you were just finishing up like a performance-focused fat loss at that point. And that's when we figured out.
1 week off.
Yeah, and that's when we figured out that you gained 5 pounds in a deficit, which was pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I have Catherine? She's on. Andre's on.
I mean, I have
Had to go to piano
Send
lessons.
to Catherine on.
I'm gonna hop off so she can get on.
All right, sounds good.
I think.
So
I think she had a lesson. She may or may not be on right now.
okay, so we have two new people to introduce. We have Chris and Teresa. Chris probably doesn't need as much introduction as Teresa, but neither of them need very much introduction because they're very active. Now, when we keep saying slot, what we're referring to is Science Lab Off Topic. And if you're an ETP performer, like you definitely know what Science Lab Off Topic is. But if you're listening to this crazy podcast and you've gotten this far, you probably don't know what Science Lab Off Topic is. And it's basically the social side. And normally, so like the best way to explain it is if it's a piece of pizza, if it's a PR, or if it's your dog, then it should be in slot. So let's see, I just lost you guys.
For a celebration.
Yeah,
Pats on the back, attaboys, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's sort of fun. So Chris, talk a little bit about, because you've been doing Eat to Perform for 3 years. You started as a coach here this year, leaving your job and kind of coming on to work with us. So talk a little bit about what that year's been like.
Crazy. Like it's strange how you want something to happen and you think about it and you kind of work for that, but then when it actually happens, you're not at all prepared for it to what actually occurs when that happens. But that's my 2-year-old. I was in the real estate industry, spent 8 years doing that, title research. It was something I enjoyed, but was never my career as far as something I wanted to do. I kind of fell into it, but weightlifting, powerlifting, and nutrition has been my passion since I was in high school even. But I finally had the opportunity to follow through with it. I was a member first, saw great results using Eat to Perform's methods, MetFlex and then the Wave method. Both have been fantastic for me. And when the opportunity arose, Paul offered it and I took it. And you can't look back. It's been crazy, but great. An entirely new experience and something I'm still looking forward to continuing as we go forward here into the new year.
What I don't think that a lot of people realize, and we'll talk a little bit about it with Teresa, because those will be fun stories too. But what I don't think that a lot of people realize is that we're kind of a startup, I mean, and so, pretty much, everyone's sort of like these chess pieces, that we move. And so one of the cool things, and we haven't really talked about it a lot, and I'm not going to really talk about it now because we're still kind of developing the idea a little bit for everyone. But Chris and Catherine have actually moved to the meal planning because we're trying to emphasize that in a big way. And there's a lot of cool things coming to meal planning that you guys don't know about yet. But pretty much every Wednesday, we meet with like a core group of people. And then, of course, if you're in the meal planning group, it's just a nice way to find ideas related to meals and stuff like that. But I think in general, when you're a small business, a lot of the times, you hear about, this business started off and then grew. If you look at the difference, I mean, Jordy, do you remember the month you started?
I think it was October last year.
Okay. So Jordy would have started right before the holiday season last year. We had 7 people.
Oh, wait. Yeah, as staff, you mean, right? Not
Yeah.
as a member.
Yeah. And so, so she would have started as a staff member. That would have been basically about 7 people deep, and then now we're at like 60, you know. And so the differences between Eat to Perform when Jordy and Chris was starting to come on, because I think Chris would have been, you know, probably 13, something like that. Because we went from like 13 to 50, like really quickly. All the Tim Tam. Oh, there's still Tim Tams left.
Jill is on, by the way.
What now?
Jill is on. You just have to make her a panelist.
I can get off if Jill wants to get on.
Oh, hold on. Let me make Jill a panelist. See, this is gonna ruin the whole thing now. The whole Matt Damon thing is gonna be lost. So, all right. Once again, thank you, Jordy, for coming up with this great idea. Chrisonica, this is our Chrisonica show every year from now on. How about that? We'll get ourselves a nice Chrisonica bush, and we'll make it a habit. Does anybody watch the show The Goldbergs? I love that show. It's hilarious.
Kim, you're muted. He's a little star of the hour.
So we've got Jill, but no webcam. Is that the idea?
She says she can't hear you. She said,
My friends.
now I can't hear.
Are you eating Tim Tams?
I mean, she's typing. Hang on. She can't hear. I don't know. Technical difficulties?
Once again, riveting podcast action.
Well,
you know what I wonder?
Matt Damon lives on.
You know what I wonder is if on like one of these other nutrition, like I just wonder if like Melissa Hartwig right now has, you know, images of her staff with their kids all eating candy canes and Tim Tams. I have a feeling that would not.
My kids and I are having Tim Tams.
What now?
Unfortunately.
What'd you say, Kim?
I said, unfortunately, there'll be no video of my kids and I eating Tim Tams.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't get any Tim Tams either. What the hell? I got Japanese Kit Kats, so thank you, Sarah Willen.
I'll bring a whole suitcase to summer camp, and everyone will get some. I promise.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Except Chris. Got them all up.
Except Chris, he's got the whole, he's stocked up. So Teresa came on. I'm just trying. You know what was funny is we had another person that worked for Eat to Perform that was doing. Oh, there's Jill. She's in like a Japanese tea restaurant or something. She's in a club maybe. I don't know. I'm expecting Drake in the background, or you know, she's doing that kind of thing. Maybe a little.
You're muted.
Jill is muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. So for those people that don't know Teresa, basically we were looking for someone to kind of help with like email design type stuff, things of that nature. We certainly never imagined the force of nature that is Teresa. And so literally I can't imagine virtually anything that the most out there ideas, Teresa's like, yeah, we can do it. Totally. We can totally do it. You know? I've actually met her husband at a restaurant about 20 miles from our house, so I could deliver the books that we signed, so then they could mail them out and stuff like that. So, you know, once again, I don't know that that's kind of the magic behind all the stuff that sort of happens, with Eat to Perform. So yeah,
Just
so
make it happen.
yeah, so but Teresa, Jimmy, and myself, we're kind of like the marketing people, and so we do a lot of the ideas. If you've bought anything, you did so probably because of the email campaigns or the Facebook ads that we put out. Um, and we're still trying to figure that out. Like, one of the things that someone said about us that I think rings true, and I probably drive Teresa and Jimmy crazy with this, but we're often laying the road right before we walk on it. And so that was an example of our meeting this morning. What I think that's sort of interesting is a lot of the things that you guys see. I'm trying to remember, how did Lifetime come about? I felt like
That was Lori's idea.
That was Lori, yeah.
That was Lori.
That was Lori.
Yeah, so Lori mentioned that in a meeting, and we were like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, whatever. And literally, 2 weeks later, we sold 1,400 Lifetime memberships. Which, if you look at, Slot has 6,700 people, so basically 25% of Slot bought a Lifetime membership, all for the Wombats, apparently. But yeah, no, and we've actually had a second run, and I think that we're up to about 2,000 Lifetime members right now. And so that was kind of interesting. But that's an example of the kind of thing that, Teresa's asked to pull off. Like,
And Jimmy.
Yeah.
And Jimmy. Jimmy can't be here tonight, and he is absolutely the other half of this, or the other third, I guess, of this team, because he can't be on, and I wish he could, because he does so much, and he deserves so much credit. So, yeah, we're kind of that triune cord of three, if you will.
Well, what's interesting about Jimmy or James is that he was actually, it was me and him. It was me and him for a long time, and basically we would make like 3 articles a day, which all those articles were really shitty. There was a couple of them that were really good though, and we still use some of those articles today, like the 5 beginners tips that you see with the flames. We probably wrote that maybe 2 weeks into Eat to Perform. That article is that old. Some of our gradually awesome stuff that we're sort of bringing back is, we wrote that very early on, and so that's kind of interesting. Anything that you can think of, kind of going forward to Teresa, because I think that we've been talking about behind the scenes are things that are going to happen in 2016. Chris is very involved with some of that. I really think that you guys are going to be blown away by what we're able to do. Just to give you a little hint, one of the things that we've been criticized for, not necessarily criticized, but gyms in general often point to the fact that, they use paleo because, it's a list of foods, and you eat these foods or you don't eat these foods, and it makes it easy for gym owners. So we have a much better version of that coming soon that'll be even more helpful for you guys and also for gym owners. But I've said too much. You guys will see more of that stuff in the next couple weeks, definitely before the end of the year. And it's really super exciting. And I think one of the things that, we should probably talk about this, right? Because it was a big deal. when we first did the Eat to Perform Open, which was 4 events, we did not have slot as an example. Slot did not exist. We made that group for the people that were competing in the Eat to Perform Open. And so what happened is there was about 100 to 125 people that joined that group really quickly. And what's sort of interesting is there's some things that I've been involved with where you just know right from the beginning that is a really good idea. And the Eat Perform Open group became the Science Lab Off Topic group. And even though we've had good times and bad times with slot, in general, it's where Eat to Perform goes to have a good time. And most people talk about how they enjoy that much more than they do their regular feed. What I don't think you guys realize is oftentimes people will say to me, "You're in my head. How did you know that?" Well, I know that because we talk to you guys through coaching. We read your posts on slot. And so if somebody has a problem, I will often go, "Well, I know the answer to that. Let me write an article about it." That's speaking about what Jimmy and I used to do, what a lot of you guys don't know, I mean, Jill would be the only one that would probably remember back to that point. But there used to be messages on the Facebook page, so people could message me, which was obscene. All day long. It was obscene. I mean, it was crazy. We had comments on the blog. We were saying something that really nobody had heard in a general population type way. And so, I mean, I remember, one of the things that I remember was posting the Coldplay song, the video for the Coldplay song "Fix You," and I was like literally like sitting in front of my computer with tears in my eyes, going, I want to help people, but like we were just so inundated. I mean, you can sort of see me getting choked up, right now. I mean, I've been involved with a lot of really cool stuff. I've never been involved with anything as overwhelming as Eat to Perform and the demand that people, I had no idea that, there was the kind of thirst out there for understanding basic exercise physiology, because what I don't think we all realize. I mean, I'm seeing all this stuff related to like fat blockers and carb blockers and all this kind of stuff. As a guy, I mean, Chris, I don't know if you get this stuff. I don't get that stuff very much. So when we started with Eat to Perform, I think that it was sort of like watching ESPN. I started writing about my stuff, right? And then people were like, "Well, does this apply to women?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm talking to Elizabeth Akinwale over here, and then Nanny Aran over here, and we had a lot of interest, from Olympic lifters and stuff like that." And that was a little bit how Jill kind of came in. So, Jill, why don't you talk a little bit about kind of your early memories of Eat to Perform, because you've been, when we say that Jill or when we say that Jordy mentioned there was 7 to 8 people when she first started, Jill was one of the first people. We refer to those people as the OGs, the original gangsters.
Original gangsters, yeah. No, I've been with you from the beginning, and Lori and I came to Eat to Perform from a very, I won't name the program, but very, very low carb with a weekly carb up, and it was not making us feel very good. And so we saw you on your Facebook page, and we were like, "This is it, we can eat carbs again and not feel bad about it." So I was on board from day one. I was ready, and I never looked back. It was great.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about, like, because what a lot of people don't realize is that we started with a Facebook page. Because we started Well, we started from Facebook page, and we were one of the original Facebook groups. There was no Facebook group, so we were like, "Hey, we'll start a Facebook group," and that was a train wreck, right? I mean,
It was hard to answer all the questions. It was hard to, you know, I mean, the forums at least will keep things organized, but I think the Facebook page was just a lot of people asking questions and were really excited by it. So it started there, and you know, it just has blown up since then, and a lot of changes, but a lot of, you know, evolution throughout the process. So the original Facebook page was a train wreck, but you know, it led us to what we are now, which is great.
yeah, I think that, you know, in some ways, you know, it is a very big responsibility from my standpoint. I have to tell you guys, I always thought it was going to be like this. Not from the perspective of I could have imagined 1.3 million or 60 people. But I wouldn't have done anything if I didn't think that this was possible, right? So when I first started um, doing Eat to Perform, I did have the idea that it could be something that would take a lot more responsibility, because I mean we went from like 0 to 100,000 like in the first month. And so I remember saying to my wife, because I've been involved with a few other, you know, things that had this kind of trajectory, but they were more fad based, you know, being um, you know, a business related to fat loss and fitness and things of this nature. It's obviously got a lot more staying power. At that point, I was living a very comfortable life. You know, I didn't have a ton of responsibilities. Uh, you know, in general, my poker playing days was sort of over. I was getting fit, um, and the idea of like building a company, if you've never done it before, you don't know what it's like. And if you don't know what it's like, you don't know that it's not all joy. You know, it's not all fun. It's mostly fun. You know, I have to say, like, I think that we can all relate to this one thing that I'm about to say. It's always fun talking to the clients. That's always fun. I think every single one of us could relate to the fact that um, the daily work that we do behind the scenes, that stuff kind of sucks, you know. And we wouldn't want to do it if it wasn't for the interaction with you guys, you know. But being in spreadsheets, you know, calculating TDs, you know, doing Facebook ads, um, you know, I'm right now going through a course that honestly I just want to like stick forks in my eyeballs. It's just not fun. Um, but that, you know, that's what it is, right? And that is the payoff. And you know, one of the things that I think is you can look at. I really think slot was sort of like one of the transitions that we made. You know, you when you're kind of transitioning from just like a Facebook page and kind of a fun thing to an actual business. Um, you know, there's accountants involved. There's, you know, all the stuff like that. But there's also like putting processes in place. And I'm not like the best process person. Anybody that's been in one of our staff meetings knows what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, so Jill, talk a little bit about how you train, because you live in Detroit, right?
I do. I live in Detroit. I'm a power lifter. So when I first started Eat to Perform, I was doing Olympic lifting, and I decided to change it up. And so for the past year and a half, almost 2 years, I've been powerlifting. So being able to eat this way has been great for me. You know, I've been able to put on some good muscle. And at my age, that's not easy. And I've been doing competitive powerlifting for the past year and a half. It's been great.
Jill, how old are you, Jill?
I'm 50.
I mean,
I'm 50. Turned 50 in September. Thanks for that, Paul.
Well, no, I think that that's important for people to hear, right? I mean, like, if you look at this call, right, there's a lot of people represented. You know, Chris is a younger guy. I'm almost 50 myself. So Jordy's 26. Caitlin, what are you, 28?
27.
27. So, I mean, there's a lot of different types of athletes that are represented on the ePerform staff. The one thing that I'm probably most proud of, and I really think that in 10 years, when we're a competitor to some of the biggest brands in fat loss, people are going to look back and go, the reason why they succeeded is because every staff member on there does Eat to Perform every single day of their life. There is no other diet that can say that, right? And of course, we know we're not really a diet per se, and there's a lot of things that go, in on that conversation. But in general, it always sort of bothers me when people say, do I have to be a CrossFitter or do I have to be a power lifter? Because I didn't start off like that. Basically, I was kind of in for about 10 years, sort of stuck in that, I just can't figure this out. And I knew that I couldn't undereat and exercise. So I chose not to exercise. And then when I reversed that and said, well, okay, I'm gonna exercise and then eat an adequate amount for what I do, and that's ultimately how I figured it out. Obviously, I figured it out with the help of Mike Nelson and Brad Dieter and, like high-level PhD type people, and that's the kind of information that we bring to you guys. We also, if you look at the ePerform staff, I mean, pretty much every single person is going off the information that we're getting, and we're evolving all the time, and that bothers some people. It bothers some people that something we would have said 3 years ago is slightly different than today. It shouldn't. You should want to evolve. You should want to be better. I can tell you that the stuff we were saying 3 years ago was really good, but it's not as good as what we say today, right? And it's not as good, I think that one of the things that gets lost in the process is just, the individual, kind of deal, right? Where, a 74-year-old female doesn't have the same needs as a 24-year-old CrossFit Games athlete, The one thing that actually does concern me, with the people that come in and they're like just so super active, it always concerns me, like, what's going to happen to those people when they're 82? You know what I mean? Like, you've got to be able to sort of adjust to that, Were there any, do you remember any stories from way back when? Because obviously, as we've moved, I mean, I moved the cheese on you guys, Jill, for a lot of the, for the last 3 years.
Yeah, but it's been evolving, and it's always good. I think that that you have to admit that you're going to evolve with the times, and if you're going to be finding new information, that's what's great about Eat to Perform. It's not something that doesn't change. That we work with so many clients, and we try to pick what's best and what's the latest. So I think it's a good thing that we've evolved. That we're not just stuck in a certain template that we can't get out of. So it's good.
Yeah, I think the other.
And I think also, all of us are different. I'm 50. I've got 3 kids. I've got a job that has me travel. As you can see, I'm in a hotel right now. This is not my house. So, I can do Eat to Perform. I, can power lift. I can travel all the time and still stick to the plan. And I think if I was doing something really restrictive or too rigid, I couldn't succeed because I couldn't live my life.
Yeah, I don't think most people succeed in that, in that way. I think one of the things that's sort of interesting thinking back to all the success stories of the people that, we were talking to 3 years ago. I remember, okay, so there was a couple things early on that a lot of people don't know. One, I was really against recipes. Do you guys remember that? Like, I really did not like recipes because I thought they were too complicated. And I felt like it made things a lot harder for people. And I caved on that, and I think I was right to cave on that because, the the one thing I do try to do is I try to hear feedback and kind of implement, even though it might not be something that I necessarily believe in. The other thing I was really against, and Jill will probably remember this more than just about anybody else, I was really against before and afters. I really did not like the idea of before and afters.
I was just gonna say that I was gonna get my list of things up you were against.
What'd she say?
Before and afters were big.
Yeah.
You did not want to do those.
Well, the reason why I didn't like before and afters is because I wanted people to take a long-term approach, But I changed my mind on that too. And I remember, I can't, Lisa Cartwright, that she was the first person. And what I think about Lisa Cartwright is that I see her now on Facebook, and she's not like an active member of Eat to Perform. I mean, some of what we used to be, has changed fundamentally. But I see her in pictures with her family, and she's still doing great. There's so many people that graduated from Eat to Perform, right? They've like, okay, cool. I get to eat food and I get to work out. This is awesome. See you guys later. I can speak for all of us. We love that, and I would assume that there's probably a lot of people that have friended you guys on Facebook as well, that you've seen they've sort of kind of figured it out a little bit, and they're not as active as they used to be. They used to ask a lot of questions. I mean, don't you think it's amazing the people that come in and they're just like scared as all get out 2-3 weeks in, and then 3 months later they're like the biggest advocate. We were able to kind of break through that wall. There's always that early period that once people get over that, it's helpful. I don't know what's going on with Jill, but
I think a lot of those people are on this webcast right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. A lot of if you look at how we hire our staff, basically, the people that were all in were the people that we hired. They're the best examples for all of you guys. And then if they have obviously an interest in what we're doing, we I always say this to Kim. I met Kim in Minnesota. She was here for a family reunion right outside of Mankato, and which is about 45 minutes from my house. And I was telling Kim, I was like, you carry the banner for a lot of people, and I think that's kind of cool. I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, Nicole's on. Let's see. We haven't seen Nicole. We haven't seen.
I can get up. I'll jump off.
Let's see, Jen.
I want to know what Caitlin is eating.
Yeah. I'll eat dinner. All I have left right now is a sweet potato, but
Caitlin eats the same every single day.
She eats the same food, and then
she's been found down. She's our poster child for eating to perform while we're on our webcast.
Exactly.
That's right.
So tell them what's in your sweet potato, Caitlin.
Today it's coconut oil, cinnamon, salt, and peanut butter.
Yeah. You could have led with the peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter always, every day.
So Kim,
Hey, that's how April got us hooked on all those sweet potatoes. She put peanut butter on it. We were like, that's madness.
Actually, you know what I have to have right now, and Jordy says it would be too sweet for her, but I bought that white chocolate peanut butter.
Oh, I love it. I have some too.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so good.
I have a cinnamon spiced peanut butter that I put on my sweet potatoes, and only in the last couple of months since Caitlin started doing it every day, because I thought she was nuts, but I tried it and it's delicious.
You know what I hate?
got me hooked on that too.
You know what I hate is like I'll start, like, for instance, I was drinking kombucha for years. All of a sudden, April starts drinking kombucha, and then everybody's drinking kombucha. You know?
Watch out. She said she's going to start doing more cardio, so watch what happens.
Yeah, she has been saying that.
I know she's gonna make a run for me at the War of the Wads. So Kim, who are the children that were in your lap?
Come here.
This is Mabel. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello, Mabel. And then what's his name?
This is Hartley.
Hey, Hartley, how are you doing, buddy?
Good.
Nice to meet you. Is it warm weather in Tennessee today?
Warm, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It was like 70 degrees today.
Nice. Yeah, it was kind of sleety. Chris, what's your daughter's name?
Emily.
You're kidding? Your daughter's named Emily?
Yeah.
And you didn't remember that, Paul?
That makes me like the worst human being on the planet. Because my daughter's named Emily. You know? I mean, I've seen videos of Chris's daughter a million times. So.
Chris never posts about her as Emily. It's always Emmy. So
Yeah. Oh, that. Duh. Well, I don't think I've ever heard.
Baby girl.
There you go.
I call her baby girl a lot.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. No.
Baby girl.
Emmy definitely is something I'm familiar with. So, and oh, by the way, there's another ETP superstar that should be on here, but she's not, is your wife. Because, yeah, your wife is as big of a superstar in the Perform world as you are.
Well,
yeah, she's got to come on now.
Are we going to see a front shot or a behind shot?
I think we've all seen enough of the backside, and this is a holiday show here, Lori.
I didn't use any obscene words. I said backside.
Actually,
you said those for later.
I probably cursed way too much for as many children that have been on the podcast tonight.
Hey, at least mine have clothes on.
Hey, there you go.
With no clothes during the meetings.
Yeah, exactly. So Nicole, oh, there's Mandy. Hello, Mandy. Mandy was like one of the lifting all-stars at the Perform Open at Southside. I actually just met with the owner of Southside, and we were talking right now about and his name is Jack. See, I do pay a little attention. Hello, Jack. And Jack is a super active little dude. When you see him in his house, he's bouncing all around. But yeah, so Mandy was kind of a rock star at the Perform Open. I'm actually talking to the guys at Southside about developing a sort of franchise model for what we'd be looking at. So hopefully we'll see something like that for 2017, but could be kind of a cool thing. So Nicole is part of our coaching program. Nicole, where do you live?
I am in Jacksonville, Florida, originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, though.
Gotcha. And so you're, um, yeah, she's showing the Tim Tams. Is that it? So
I was trying to grab the Tim Tams.
yeah, so Nicole, Brad's not here tonight, but Nicole is Brad's handy helper, and what I don't think most people realize is that, you know, myself, April, Brad, we're sort of the leads. Catherine's one of the leads, and you know, Caitlin was a lead at one point, and has moved on to like the performance focused fat loss forums. But I think we can all admit that like it's the other folks that are doing a lot of the work, right? Where you guys are sending the plans out to people, making the adjustments, and if you're getting a plan from someone, if you're getting advice from someone, it's usually people like Nicole. Nicole, if you're in group coaching, you've probably gotten a message from Nicole because she's one of the most active responders down there.
And I write books. I don't write little replies. Apparently, everything that I respond to, it takes up like a couple paragraphs. So I just have a lot to say.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think that's another great example of, you know, so Kim is just like just bringing the kids here, man. Now is
Well,
okay.
that's not a real kid, though.
Oh, I was like, holy cow.
Go on, man.
So let's see. So Nicole, what's a good holiday tradition that your family does?
Oh gosh. Moving down to Florida just last year, we're trying to find new traditions, and I think we found one actually the weekend after Thanksgiving. They have a huge boat show down here in Jacksonville, and it was amazing. They had, I think it was over 50 some boats that were decorated with Christmas lights and themes, and they had a huge fireworks show. It was really awesome. So we'll do that every year, and then actually on Christmas last year we went down to St. Augustine, and they have, I think it's in the top 5 or something like that of the best place to go for the holidays with the Christmas lights. They have the whole city decked out in Christmas lights, and you can take a red train tour around the city, and they play Christmas music, and they give you hot chocolate and candy, and it's really fun. So
That's cool.
We'll do that on Christmas.
Yeah, this weekend will be the week we go down and cut a tree in Hampton, which is funny because I feel like Hampton, Minnesota is like really, really super far from where I live. But that's also the town where I've been meeting Teresa's husband to bring the books so they can mail them. And it turns out it's only 15 minutes away. So, you know, it seems like it's really far away when it's Christmas tree time, but but it's really not that far. So yeah, there really isn't, you know, I remember Christmas lights in Louisiana was a bigger deal than it is here in Minnesota. I think one of the reasons why Christmas lights isn't as big a deal is that it's cold. And so I don't know that people are dying to get up on their roof. And I'm sure that Chris is like, what are you talking about, dude? There's Christmas lights everywhere. Like, in the South, you know, like you don't have snow. So there's like big, huge Christmas displays. The one thing that they do have here, it's not as big of a deal. Like, Chris, did you guys ever go to like the Dayton's holiday display downtown?
Yep.
So like on the 8th floor of Dayton's, which is now Macy's, they used to do like a different theme every single year. And that was always cool. Now it's not as cool that Macy's took it over. But like the holodazzle, that used to be kind of cool, and now it's like a festival, and it's probably gonna die soon. But the problem in Minnesota, this year it's not bad. Like when it's cold, it's really cold, and you don't want to go outside. Or when it's not cold, it's like it is right now, which is rainy. You know, so it's not always the really conducive to that kind of stuff.
I don't miss that.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to see. Let's see, Andre. I don't know if he's still on or not, but I think we got pretty much all the staff members. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody that we've sort of missed out on. Let's see, Maggie's here. Oh, here we go. Well, Andre was listed as a. Let's see. So we have Maggie and Andre, and those guys can come on. So I need 2 people to sign off. Who wants to be the sign off people?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go. See you later, alligators.
See ya. So Nicole, are you married? Do you have a family? Do you have children?
No, I have 5 animals. I have 3 cats, 2 dogs, and a husband that travels all the time.
Is he one of the animals?
No, he's never home. I feel like I'm married, but I'm single, but I'm not. It's weird.
Well, you can't feel single with all those pets.
No, it's a zoo. It's good though.
Speaking of pets, Maggie's on the call, and she lives with a wolf.
Oh, want to see him?
Yeah, let's see this wolf. See, yeah, and like literally the most passive wolf-looking dog you'll ever see in your life.
I have a wolf too.
Yeah.
Is he a husky?
I think Catherine's also got a husky.
She's got a Malamute.
Oh, does she?
Mm-hmm.
So
Can I ask a really dumb question? What's the difference between a husky and a malamute?
Generally, they're 2 different breeds. A Malamute is bigger and usually fluffier. They only have brown eyes. Huskies are trimmer, more known for racing or going fast, where Malamutes are more work-oriented.
Okay, cool. Good.
Wow.
I was told their tails curl in opposite directions too. Just from genetics.
Is that like if you flush the toilet in the northern hemisphere compared to the southern hemisphere, it flushes the opposite way?
Yes.
Exactly like that. So for those of you guys that don't know, when I talked about James and I starting off, one of the funniest stories Maggie reminds me of it all the time is Maggie goes to my gym, and so we were working out, and we were becoming friends at that point. And so I said to her, I was like, I really need somebody to help me out with this Eat to Perform thing, because we have a lot of people that need help. Hour at the most, a week, right? And needless to say, that changed very quickly.
Yes. Went from an hour to a full-time job within 6 months.
And so
then shortly after that, I had our 3rd kid and said, well, I can't do this full-time thing. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And then Lori came on, and now we have like a bajillion staff. And it's a great team. And so now I've pulled back even more just as it's hard to raise little kids. And it's great to see the team that Eat to Perform has.
So I was just thinking the other day, I wonder how much Eat to Perform gear is still in Maggie's basement.
Hard to say. There's a decent amount of shirts.
How are we doing on shorts?
Handful.
Okay.
Not very many.
I was thinking to myself, if because the shorts, like, what one of the things that I see at our gym that everyone wears are the "Food is Thy Medicine" shirts. I don't know if you ever see anybody like around, but they're always wearing them, you know. And I don't know if anybody's got that hoodie, but when in 10 years from now, when Eat to Perform is like the biggest deal going, those hoodies are going to sell for $1,000 a piece. Those things are cool as heck. Because they were one of the early ones. I would say that not all of the shirts, are super memorable at this point. Like it was sort of fun. I mean, I remember when we started selling the train shirts, like in the beginning. I don't even. What does the train shirt say? Does anybody know? You train to not suck at life or something.
The game is life. Train not to suck at life.
Right.
Yeah,
We sold.
I have that one.
We sold so many of those. It was really quite unreal, actually. Thinking back to it. I mean, thinking back to all the things. Like at one point, right now we don't really sell many T-shirts. But T-shirts were like the biggest deal going. T-shirts are just sort of hard to deal with. So everybody's kind of looking. Is like the audio bad or something? Gotcha. So Maggie, what do you, so this summer, there was. So I'll tell the swan story. So there were swans in the lake right near Maggie's house. And I thought these swans were like the coolest thing. So I start harassing Maggie and I'm like texting her, like, you gotta come see these swans right now. They're like so cool. And they were literally right by her house. And I don't know what happened to Maggie there. We lost her. Oh, she's back. And so swans are by your house. And she's like, yeah, whatever. I got stuff to do. And I'm like, no, but they're swans and they're by your house, And so I went and saw these swans a number of times. And so for a while there, I would go see them like almost every day. I just thought it was like the coolest thing going. I didn't know how these swans came. And so at one point I went to the visitor center at Lebanon Hills, which is the lakes area that I'm talking about. And I asked the people at the visitor center about the swans and where are the swans? And they were like, well, they probably went back to the zoo. So they were the zoo swans and they just left the zoo. And so they just like leave the zoo and then come back to the zoo. So it's sort of like, messed up my dream there. But did you guys ever see the swans, or do you just go to the zoo when you want to see swans, Maggie? I don't know if she can hear us.
Yeah, her connection's being weird. She can't hear very well.
Okay, because like she's kind of got like the deer in headlights look going. So she.
So I have a bit of trivia.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you know that Kim and I found out that we grew up like blocks from each other.
Yes.
In California. Yep. I mean, we don't live in California anymore, but we grew up. I think you're younger than me, though. Like literally, like a couple blocks from each other.
That's cool.
Yeah. Small world.
Yeah.
Where in California?
San Jose, Cupertino.
Yeah. In San Jose, Cupertino area.
So I was gonna tell the story of when, and we have Taylor that's actually coming on here soon too, which I don't know, somebody's sharing their screen, so probably shouldn't do that.
I'm on it right now, so no.
Taylor, if you could hold up.
Maybe. There we go. I'm in here.
All right, hold on one second. Don't say anything yet. So we were in California this year with April and I at the CrossFit Games, and it was hilarious because we were sort of there to sort of press the flesh with people and meet up with Eat performers. And it's really funny because you would think that there would be a lot of Eat performers, and there probably are. You know, what I mean, like I would say that of every single person there, all of them have seen one of our articles, right? So they would definitely have some understanding of what Eat to Perform is. But April was there with her family, so they were going to Disneyland and all this other kind of stuff, and it was I don't know, it was just kind of a funny experience because we were at the CrossFit Games with a bunch of people that don't really CrossFit all that much, um, so that was kind of interesting, and we have a lot of people in California, obviously. So we're gonna shut it down here real soon. But kind of the last person, and I had Andre. I was kind of hoping to get Andre on the show
Taylor,
here.
does Taylor know he's sharing his screen? I tried to message him. It says Lori messaged you on his thing there.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Yeah, I know I know I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Okay. Just
No,
so
I was in the middle of making pancakes and I was like, oh, the webinar's going, and I just got done with the gym, so like I'm.
You're kind of tired of making pancakes.
Yeah, I mean, you need pancakes after working out. I benched like a ton today, which is a really weird thing for a CrossFitter to do.
So are you making bacon pancakes?
I did not make bacon pancakes. I made pancakes, and then I made bacon separately tonight.
Okay.
So,
I think the making bacon pancakes thing is like the funniest thing. I mean, just like listening to it makes me want to like pull that up like immediately.
So the other day while squatting, I put that on at the gym, and I put it on the 10-minute loop. So like I made the entire gym listen to making bacon pancakes for 10 minutes.
There you go. So
That's awesome.
So we're gonna end the show with Eat to Perform Platinum on the call. So it's me, Chris, and Taylor, and I've got a new member of Eat to Perform Platinum, which hopefully is gonna be Laura Kohler. Jen Patterson was also a potential candidate. So we're going co-ed in North Carolina. We were looking for an event, which was funny because if we knew about the event in North Carolina, we might have done it, but they were reaching out to us for the longest time. And then when I saw the events and saw that you could do co-ed, I was like, wow, that looks really, really super cool. So I'm really excited about that and getting down there. And we have a lot of Eat performers in North Carolina, so that should be a good time. Anything kind of going on for you, Taylor? I know that you started to do some more advanced training with your gym owner. How's that going for you?
It's been going great actually. Like, so it's been really interesting. He's been having me do a lot of like drills for like my Olympic list, and recently I'm starting to notice a lot of like gains. Like as far as like my lifts just feel stupid easy, and I'm like, what is this like? Like tonight I did a triple for triple jerks at 85%, and they were just like I felt like it was the easiest thing in the world, and I was like, why is this super easy? These used to be hard. So, things are going pretty well. I mean, like there's some days where like my psoas is just so angry that I can't do things, but that's, recovery, and I'm beating the crap out of myself. So like my coach says there's days that I should feel like my back is broken. And I was like, that's a lovely sentiment.
I used to have so many psoas issues, and you know how I solved them?
How?
I started to rest. I know. It's weird.
I took some time off this last week due to my cold, and it's kind of getting better. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that was one of the things I remember so much was my psoas in my right side was always a mess, and so was my right glute. And when I decided that I probably shouldn't CrossFit 6 days a week, all of a sudden those things started to heal better. But one of the things that, I mean, a lot of people know Taylor from the challenges, from slot, what they don't know is that, he's probably, one of the 5 best Eat to Perform stories of all time. You know, I mean, he came in at just over 160 pounds. I think your lean mass when you measured it last time was like 172 or something.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid high. I was like, wow.
Yeah, so I mean his lean mass is 10 pounds more than he used to weigh, and then obviously he's low teens, around 10% body fat. So just kind of an interesting story and a good message, especially if you're kind of a younger guy or a younger gal, a lot of times if you just get out of your own way, you'll be doing fine. So we've been doing this for about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and as you guys can probably hear, my voice is starting to get a little hoarse. So I appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to shut it down. This was a lot of fun, and I thought it was kind of a nice way for everybody to get to know all of us in a casual way. So have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy it and enjoy your family. All of the Eat to Perform people will. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.